at the same 10 minutes.
How did Glenda get from the mines to supply in 10 minutes?
Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. I have a quick question for you. Have you ever looked at a surveillance footage clip and thought, wait, that is literally impossible? Like, seeing the exact same person, wearing the exact same clothes, showing up in two completely different places at the exact same time? Because when Deputy Sheriff Paul Billings and Hank pulled up the IT surveillance logs in the silo, that's exactly what they found. There was Glenda Harwood, clear as day, sitting right in supply where she was supposed to be. But at that exact same second, her face pops up on footage right outside the mines during a major gas evacuation. No twin, no camera trickery, and no, she didn't figure out how to break the laws of physics and teleport. What they were actually looking at was the first crack in a massive, dangerous secret, a hidden underground highway, a high-stakes supply heist that threatened the entire silo's survival, and the cold-blooded murder of a young woman named Orla Kent. So grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's break down how a few missing light bulbs exposed a secret map that changed everything.
Listen, Mike Davidson is no more Orla's boyfriend than you are.
The impossible timestamp and the ghost route. Now, to understand how wild this whole situation is, we have to talk about the physical layout of the silo. If you wanted to get from supply down to the mines using official routes, you had to take the main central stairwell. It's a brutal, heavy foot traffic trek, moving through heavily monitored checkpoints, passing under dozens of IT cameras, and bumping shoulders with hundreds of citizens. Moving between those 2 points isn't a quick 2-minute jog. It takes serious time. So when Billings looks at the logs, the timing isn't just a little tight. It's physically impossible. Glenda could not have sprinted down those central stairs fast enough to make that second appearance. Naturally, when people in authority see something impossible on camera, their brains go straight to tech glitches or identity confusion. Is the timestamp broken? Did someone alter the footage? Is it a twin? But the reality was way simpler, and honestly, way cooler. Glenda wasn't skipping through time. She was using a ghost route deep inside the structure, where the old, original foundational sections near supply and construction meet a newer section hacked out from the mines. There's an unmapped crossover passage. It's an architectural blind spot. No IT cameras, no security guards posting up, and no logbooks to sign. If you know where to step, you can bypass the entire central stairwell and slip from supply straight into the mines in under 10 minutes flat. And why did Glenda know about this route? Well, it runs in the family. Glenda used to be the supply shadow, and her dad, Ed Harwood, happens to be the head of the mines. This wasn't just a handy shortcut Glenda used to dodge her supervisor. It was a family bridge connecting two completely different worlds. Except, you don't build or maintain a secret tunnel just to let one person cut line for lunch.
You asked her to help you find who was stealing in critical supply.
The stolen supplies crisis. Which brings us to the real catalyst of this whole mystery, the missing light bulbs. Around this time, Deputy Billings and Carla McLean, the head of supply, start digging through inventory ledgers, and what they find is straight up terrifying. Critical supply is supposed to be the silo's safety net. We're talking about decades of stockpiled gear to keep humanity alive deep underground. Historically, the silo had roughly a 70-year supply of industrial reserve light bulbs sitting in storage. 70 years. That's generations of security. So imagine Carla's heart dropping into her stomach when she audits the shelves and realizes that 70-year stockpile has suddenly vanished. Gone. Down to barely 2 years of lighting left. Now, why is that a fatal countdown clock? Because in a closed ecosystem like the silo, light isn't just about being able to see where you're walking. Light is life. It powers the growth vaults. It keeps the crops alive. If those bulbs burn out and there are no replacements, the crops die, the food chain collapses, and everybody starves in the dark. This wasn't some petty theft where a worker pocketed a couple of bulbs to fix a lamp in their living quarter. This was an aggressive, systemic looting of the silo's most vital resource, which leads to a pretty major logistics problem. How on earth do you move thousands of fragile, heavy-duty industrial light bulbs out of supply without anyone noticing? You can't just throw 10,000 light bulbs into a backpack and casually walk down the main stairs past judicial guards. Bulbs break, they're noisy, they're bulky, and you'd look suspicious instantly. To move that kind of volume, you need serious transport gear. You need massive, heavy, wheeled rolling bins. And you certainly can't roll a fleet of noisy supply bins down the main stairwell under the eyes of IT surveillance, unless you have an unmapped, unmonitored highway hiding right behind the walls.
Any idea how
a body gets moved without cameras picking it up?
The miner's secret honeycomb. So, who was stealing them? And more importantly, why? What could anyone possibly need with decades worth of industrial light bulbs? To answer that, you have to look down at the very bottom of the silo, to Ed Harwood and the miners. In the silo, there's a strict rule enforced by judicial, the 200-foot rule. You do not dig past designated boundaries. You do not carve out unauthorized spaces. You stick to the blueprint. Ed Harwood threw that rulebook out the window years ago, secretly. Out of sight of judicial and IT, Ed and his crew had been tunneling deep into the surrounding solid rock for years, building out a massive, sprawling honeycomb structure of illegal tunnels and hidden caverns. Just think about what it takes to operate a massive, off-the-grid underground mining operation. It's pitch black down there. If you're going to secret tunnel through thousands of feet of rock, excavate giant rooms, and run continuous operations without management knowing, you need power. And more than anything, you need light. Endless, blinding light. The miners were burning through light bulbs at an absurd rate to keep their secret off-grid city lit. Ed was using his daughter Glenda's access in supply to siphon off the silo's lifeblood, rolling thousands of bulbs through the unmapped passage right into the dark depth of the mines. It was a perfect, silent machine until somebody new took over the ledger. Orla Kent's murder and the cover-up. Enter Orla Kent. When Glenda left her post as the supply shadow, Orla was brought in to replace her as Carla's new right hand. Orla was sharp, detail-oriented, and dedicated to doing her job right. She sits down with the official shipping ledgers, starts running the numbers, and immediately notices the massive inventory discrepancies. The math just doesn't add up. Thousands of bulbs are missing, and there are no official work orders to explain where they went. Orla starts pulling at the thread. She traces the physical paper trails, looks at cargo movements near the border of supply, and realizes the missing goods are heading toward construction and the lower sectors. She doesn't know the full extent of the conspiracy yet, but she knows something is deeply wrong. Right before she disappears, she tells her boyfriend Mike that she's heading down toward construction to investigate Glenda's old paper trail and figure out what's going on. And that was the last time anyone saw her alive. Orla walked right into the starting point of the hidden passage, asking questions she shouldn't have been asking, and someone was waiting for her. She was struck from behind with a heavy piece of ribbed steel rebar. It was fast, brutal, and lethal. She died instantly, right there on the upper levels near supply and construction. Now, how do we know she died up top and not down in the mines? The doctor's autopsy proved it. If Orla had been killed down in the mining shafts, her lungs would have been coated in thick, fine mine dust from breathing the air during her final moments, but her lungs were completely clean. She was murdered up in the clean air sector near supply, right where the secret pipeline began. Connecting the clues, now the killers have a dead body on their hands in a high-traffic sector. So how do you move a murder victim out of supply without getting caught? You use the exact same logistics system you've been using for stolen light bulbs. They loaded Orla's body into one of the large, wheeled rolling supply bins, the exact same bins used to haul thousands of stolen bulbs. And then, total luck hit for the killers. A pest control gas incident forced a sudden, chaotic, mandatory evacuation down in the mines. Alarm sirens were blaring, people were running, and the lower levels descended into complete panic. In all that noise and confusion, the killers wheeled the bin into the unmonitored crossover passage. No cameras caught them, no guards checked the bin. They rolled her body straight through the secret highway, bypassed all security, and dumped her deep into an abandoned, restricted mine shaft where civilians were never allowed to go. They thought they had committed the perfect crime. They thought people would just assume Orla wandered into a dangerous zone during the evacuation and met with an accident. They didn't count on Deputy Billings analyzing the footage. When Billings sees Glenda in two places at once on that screen, he thinks he's hunting down a ghost or trying to figure out a tech glitch. He has no idea that he's looking at the single thread that untangles the entire web. Orla Kent's murder wasn't just a tragic crime. It was the physical breadcrumb trail. Finding her body in a shaft she couldn't have reached, combined with Glenda's impossible timestamps, forced the hidden map into the light, proving that behind the steel walls of the silo, a secret war for resources and survival was already being fought under everybody's feet. Our nerdy thoughts. It's crazy to think that a simple discrepancy in a light bulb ledger could pull the rug out from under an entire underground society, but that's what makes this story so fascinating. What do you think was the biggest mistake the miners made? Was it greedy overlooting, or trusting the ghost route to cover a murder? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your take on it. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into complex mysteries, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.